Oi malta, eu sei que já passaram quase 3 anos desde a última vez que falámos. O YouTube acabou por ficar para segundo plano e eventualmente deixou de fazer sentido, mas estou-me quase a formar. Daqui a 2 semanas vou ter mais tempo livre. Não sei se o objetivo é voltar ao YouTube, mas aqui estou eu. Muita coisa mudou nos últimos anos, mas uma coisa que não mudou é eu continuar a ser vegan. Ser vegan, ou o veganismo, é uma grande parte da minha identidade e, na minha opinião, uma das melhores maneiras de espalhar a mensagem é mostrar o quão fácil consegue ser cozinhar plant-based, vegano. Portanto, podem esperar alguns vídeos a cozinhar. Não sei quantos vídeos é que vão sair desta vaga de inspiração, mas vamos tentar. Há uns meses atrás tive uma conversa com um tio que deixou-me a refletir em algo que nunca tinha pensado antes, que é o facto de eu ter aprendido sobre o veganismo há 8 anos atrás, ter lutado para poder ser vegana enquanto vivia com os meus pais, ter introduzido o conceito à minha família, aos meus amigos, fez com que toda a gente à minha volta ficasse mais aberta a isso. E é mesmo fixe pensar que mesmo esta escolha que eu fiz e um ativismo mais silencioso pode ter tanto impacto e gerar tanta mudança. Foram muitos pedidos para começar a gravar as minhas receitas. Eu não sigo receitas normalmente, mas o facto de eu estar a gravar aquilo que estou a fazer é uma boa maneira de criar as receitas que podem ser recriadas ou ajudar-vos também neste processo criativo que é cozinhar. E pronto, espero que seja útil, que se divirtam. Para mim, cozinhar é dos meus hobbies favoritos. É certo que cozinhar para outras pessoas é muito mais divertido do que cozinhar só para mim. Eu fico muito preguiçosa quando é só para mim, mas mesmo isso é uma boa coisa de partilhar, porque nem toda a gente gosta de cozinhar. Cozinhar é muito aborrecido, muito chato para muita gente, e os meus lazy meals podem servir de inspiração para essas pessoas. Sim, eu sei que estou com sotaque de imigrante e o resto do vídeo vai ser em inglês. Se desta vez não correr bem, o próximo vídeo vai ter legendas em português. Portanto, sem mais demoras, vamos começar o vídeo. I get most of my groceries from Misfits. Misfits is basically a weekly or once every 2 weeks box that you basically choose produce and dry goods that are not visually appealing enough or don't meet the standards for the supermarkets, and so you get it at a discounted price. This also means that I basically have to choose a couple days before the beginning of the week what I'll probably feel like eating. I know the foods that I tend towards the most, but then everything else is based on the deals that they have, what's discounted, what's something I haven't eaten in a while, or something that I want to try. So my thought process is very random, which means that every week I have a kind of random box of food delivered. Anyway, this is my food of the week. Before we get started, I just wanted to make a little disclaimer. My cooking is not glamorous. I know it's something that a lot of people value, but I personally don't. This video ended up being just dishes that I make quite often, especially when I don't know what to cook. I eat them like once a week or every other week, at least. So first off, we have this lentil eggplant stew. It's not really a stew, but I also don't know what else to call it. I make a lot of variations of this recipe. What stays consistent is the lentils and the eggplant. The first thing I do is roast the eggplants. I wash them, poke holes with a fork, and set the oven to low broil. I just leave them there until the skin is burnt. That way the eggplant cooks thoroughly and makes this kind of paste-like texture. While that's happening, I wash the mushrooms and chop them in a very messy way because I couldn't find my chef's knife, which is not a problem because different shapes give different textures. I dehydrate them on a pan with no salt, no olive oil. First, I just want them to get dry. Then I chop a handful of walnuts and roast them for a little bit. Add some olive oil and salt, then garlic, onion, paprika, more garlic powder,
mustard, and soy sauce. I let that cook for a little bit, and then I had cherry tomatoes, which is mostly just for the texture, and then a cup of lentils, a can of chopped tomatoes, and a can of water, and let that simmer. As you can see, the eggplant was not fully ready for me to take it out of the oven, but it was like 11:30 p.m. and I could not wait to eat. So just keep in mind that it should be more roasted than this. I basically bathe them in cold water so they're cool enough for me to handle them, and it's just so easy to peel. Again, did not happen this time because I didn't roast them enough. Once I have the eggplants peeled and shredded, I either chop them up a bit more or not, and then add them to the pot with everything else. The pot wasn't used before and I was just using the pan instead. Lastly, I let it simmer for as long as I can, and voila. The next recipe is mac and cheese. This is a meal that I eat so often because it's so easy and always hits the spot. I know I've made mac and cheese in the channel before with potato and carrot, but I've tried so many variations over the years and found that cauliflower and carrot is also a great combo. I start by soaking a cup of raw unsalted cashews and just set that aside until everything else is ready. It makes it easier to blend them afterwards and get a velvety sauce. Then I boil some cauliflower and carrots. I was really unsure what to do with this radish, ? So I just added it here. Flavor was quite intense. Once the veggies are soft, I put them in the blender with the cashews, add paprika, garlic powder. You can also use raw garlic, but it's going to be a little spicy, olive oil, and nutritional yeast. I probably end up putting half a cup of nutritional yeast, at least half a cup, but anyways, I just keep taste testing it, and if it's not cheesy enough, it needs more nutritional yeast. Then I add miso paste or soy sauce, or both. A little bit of pepper, and just a little bit of smoked sauce. If the sauce is not soft enough, I add either water or a little bit of plant-based milk. I had planned to make some tofu for the protein part, but I was just too tired and really wanted to eat. This is a theme, as you can tell. So I just added a bunch of hemp seeds and pumpkin seeds for the protein. The last recipe is a salad, which I ended up eating in one sitting because it was that good. I start by grabbing a bunch of cilantro, like the full box, and chopping all of it. I wash it under the sink and kind of make a big ball out of it, which is very helpful when cutting. Don't say anything until you try it. I also use the stems. I don't know why people hate on them, but that's where most of the flavor is at. I just cut the bottom part if it's a little dry and then mince the rest. I add a full avocado, then cut around a third of an onion. Just like garlic, onion upsets my stomach a little bit, so I compromised and I only use a third. The onion is going to release some water, which is fine because we don't want this salad to be very chewy. I get jaw fatigue very easily, so no thank you. Then I add some cauliflower that I had roasted with the eggplant the other day, and lots of kale. The avocado is going to soften the kale very nicely, and I know a lot of people are not a fan of raw kale. I'm not that much either, but here the avocado is just going to mask all the sourness of the kale and make it soft. I add 2 handfuls of cherry tomatoes and mix everything together in a bowl. This is me trying to mash the avocado further, which I should have done before, but it's okay. It's no biggie. For spices, I just added a bit of smoked sauce. Yes, I'm addicted. And olive oil. Then I let it sit, and in the meantime, I prepped the last ingredient. It's crumbled tofu. This is one of my go-to ways to make tofu. Just so easy, so versatile, and so yummy every time. I start by crumbling the tofu with my hands. I let it dry a little bit in the pan. Then add paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of turmeric just for the yellow color, soy sauce, and a bit of the smoked sauce. Let that cook for a little bit, then add some cornstarch, and you know it's almost ready when it's dry and crumbly, kind of looking like scrambled eggs. Right at the end, I add a pinch of black salt. The salt has a sulfuric taste. It has to be at the end because otherwise it evaporates completely. That is it. I just mix it in with the salad and I highly recommend it.